formula we are singing. Vahasi, Vapushi, Vishade, Vasanam, Jaladabham, Halahati, Bhiti, Milita, Yamunabham, Keshavadhrita, Haladhara Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So this personality that we are going to discuss is standing right here in the temple room. So he's standing right here. So we're going to focus our attention on him. We're going to sing those words together. We're going to use the same tune that we use for Nrsimha Pranam. Okay? So Vahasi Vapushi Vidadhe Vasanam Vajaladabham. Bolo. Vahasi Vapushi Vidadhe Vasanam Vajaladabham. Halahati Bhiti Milita Yamuna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः रामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सारजातं सर्वगुणाधान्वितं सारद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सरखण्डलता श्रीशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पथे गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त तत्प्रकाशं गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So Lord Balaram is standing here. Since there are many devotees here who have been in the community for a long time, some may have come here more recently, we'll focus a little bit on discussing who Lord Balaram is, and then we'll discuss all of his we cannot discuss all of his expansions, some of his expansions in brief overview, and then we'll talk about what is the significance of Lord Balaram to us, because ultimately when it comes down to me, what's in it for me, right? What's in it for me? And then we'll take a little tour of Srila Prabhupada's instructions, and then we'll end it there. So we have about 30 minutes totally for the start of the Kirtan. Okay, so who is Lord Balaram? Everybody knows who is Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is Krishna? Krishna is those who did not say it. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Lord Balaram is the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. He is the Supreme Personality of the Servitor Godhead. So, what this means is that actually there is no real difference between Krishna and Balaram. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj said there is no difference between Chaitanya and Nityananda. Similarly, there is no difference between Krishna and Balaram. The only difference is that one of them is a dark complexion, in this case Krishna, and one of them is of a white complexion, Balaram. Milk white, very fair. But both of them have the same features, both of them have the same charm, both of them are equally charming and very beautiful. But Balaram, in his attitude, has one significant difference. Whereas Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Balaram, his sole purpose for himself is to serve Krishna in as many ways as possible. So he is the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. So everybody has seen the brand name Adidas. Now we are going to change the meaning of that brand. Okay? Lord Balaram is Adi Das. Who is he? So every time you see the brand name, you remember who? Lord Balaram. Okay, every time you see Adidas, no, it's Adi Das. Okay? Lord Balaram. He is number one servitor of Sri Krishna. So Krishna expands himself, Bahusyam. He expands himself in order to enjoy. Actually, Krishna is self-sufficient. He does not need anyone external to enjoy himself. So, but internally, he expands into unlimited forms. But this is how he expands. First, Krishna expands himself as Balaram. Now, when I say first, please don't treat it in the context of relative time. He is eternally expanded as Lord Balaram. Balaram is the first expansion. From Balaram, who is the Mahasankarshan, who is the original, his name is Sankarshan. Sankarshan means complete force, complete attraction. There are many different meanings of this beautiful word, but this Mahasankarshan expands into just a little bit of technicality. into 4 expansions of Krishna, of himself actually, of Balaram, who are Sankarsana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha and Vasudeva. So there are 4 expansions now. From those 4 expansions, the first Sankarsana was expanded, expands himself to 24 Vishnu forms, which are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then the first Sankarsana again expands himself into Sankarsana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva. So there are unlimited expansions of Krishna. Lord Brahma in the Srimad Bhagavatam says that this material scientist may be able to one day count the number of atoms in this universe. They may be able to one day count the number of waves in the ocean, but they won't be able to count the number of expansions of Krishna. That's how many expansions there are. Innumerable, unlimited, infinite. And from the second Sankarsana expands Lord Mahavishnu. From Lord Mahavishnu, who lies down in Yoga Nidra, expand all of the material universes that are there. From the pores of his body are expanding universes. As he's breathing out, as he's exhaling, from every pore of his body, universes are coming out. You know, we might exude some sweat, we might exude some air, but Lord Mahavishnu exudes universes from the pores of his skin. Universes. And within each universe, Mahavishnu expands himself as the personality of Vishnu known as Garbha Udaka Shai Vishnu. Garbha Udaka. So he goes inside there, generates the water which covers the bottom half of the universe from his own body and lies down within that water. Garbha Udaka Shai Vishnu. And then from that Garbha Udaka Shai Vishnu, he again expands himself as Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu. He's lying in an ocean of milk at the top of the universe. And from that Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu, he expands himself as Paramatma within every living entity. That all of us have, all of us have Paramatma in our hearts. The ant has, the tree has, the dog has, the cat has, right? And then that same Paramatma expands and goes within every atom. When I say atom, I don't mean the atom that the material scientists have discovered. I mean the smallest indivisible particle, if there ever is. I don't think that Srila Prabhupada already said that the material scientists will never discover the smallest indivisible particle. But if you find the smallest indivisible particle, then within that is Paramatma. And then there is space between those indivisible particles. And within those spaces also is Paramatma. Paramatma, he completely pervades this entire universe. There is nothing that is unknown to him, nothing that is unseen to him. And therefore, we say Krishna is all-pervading. But actually it's Balaram who is all-pervading, because Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna. So it doesn't matter if you don't remember all the details that I gave you just now. If some of you have read the Bhagavatam, some of you have read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, these things are very well known to all of you. But if you don't remember this, it's alright. Because all you have to remember is that Balaram is a very great personality. The expansion of the expansion of the expansion is this universe. It exudes this universe. If we can remember just this much for now, okay? But this is Lord Balaram expanding himself outside of Krishna's internal or spiritual pastimes. But Lord Balaram expands himself in Krishna's pastimes also. First of all, Lord Balaram has expanded himself as Ananta Shesha. Ananta Shesha is the multi-hooded serpent king who is at the bottom of all of our material universes. He carries the material universes on his head like a big snake might carry a few mustard seeds on his head. So all these material universes are actually resting on Shri Ananta Shesha. And remember that Ananta Shesha has expanded himself as the resting place of Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu as well in every universe. So he is existing unlimitedly in every universe, Lord Balaram himself. Okay? So this is Lord Balaram. But inside of Krishna's pastimes, Balaram is not content to serve Krishna in so many different ways in the spiritual realm, the boundary between the spiritual and the material, inside the material realm. He's not content. He actually expands himself as Krishna's shoes. He expands himself as Krishna's clothes. He expands himself as Krishna's ornaments. He expands himself as Krishna's chair. He expands himself as, if you look at, he expands himself even as one of the dearest manjaris named Ananga Manjari. Balarama is the expansion of Lord Balaram. But Lord Balaram serves Krishna in a most complete way. He serves Krishna as his umbrella, he serves Krishna as his seat, he serves Krishna as his shoes. It's really hard to get any service to Krishna because Balaram has completely covered all the services from all angles, from all sides. And there are many, many more expansions of Krishna, of Lord Balaram. Now, within the Krishna consciousness movement, and within actually the Krishna consciousness movement has been started by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and brought to the West and all over the world by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. But even outside of what we know as the Krishna consciousness movement today, when you go to the other sampradayas, like the Sri Sampradaya and the Rudra Sampradaya and all the other sampradayas, Lord Balaram expands himself as every single genuine bona fide spiritual master there is in our universe. So Lord Balaram has expanded himself in his mercy expansion as Srila Prabhupada, as Sripad Madhvacharya, as Sri Ramanujacharya, in fact Ramanujacharya directly is an incarnation of Ananta Shesha. It's well known. But every single bona fide spiritual master is the mercy expansion of Lord Balaram. So in my life also there have been many spiritual masters. Some of them are in this room. Rupanova Prabhu is sitting right there in the back wearing this blue kurta. So to me, he's an expansion of the mercy of Shri Balaram. He and also there is Mother Krishna Bhakti. There are many such spiritual master type personalities in my life, including my own spiritual master whose name is Sankarshan Das Adhikari. Directly expand, mercy expansion of Lord Balaram. So on this day of Balaram Jayanti and also Nityananda Trayodasi and the specific appearance day of our spiritual masters, we acknowledge their contribution to our spiritual life. And this is one of Lord Balaram's most tangible mercy upon us. We cannot, it's hard to fathom Ananta Shesha holding up this universe or all the other universes. It's difficult to fathom Ananta Shesha expanding as Krishna's shoes because we are here not necessarily in Krishna's pastimes, but it's very easy to see Lord Balaram's presence in our own life. In the Upanishad, in the Mundaka Upanishad, there's a very famous line that Srila Prabhupada loves. He quotes that line in many, many classes. He says, Na Atma Balahinena Labhyate. This is from the Mundaka Upanishad. There are many Na Bahuna Shutena, etc. It's a very wonderful phrase that says, Na Atma, which means the soul or spiritual truth, Na Atma Balahinena Labhyate. Now, Bala means strength. Bala means strength. But many foolish persons have, for example, interpreted this statement as, hey, a weak person cannot get spiritual strength, so therefore you eat meat, you build your body with rippling muscles, and then you can cultivate spiritual life. Foolishness. There's one sannyasi who originated from India who says, meat is concentrated food, everybody who's interested in spiritual life should eat meat. Sending everybody to hell. Now, in order to correct all of these nonsense misconceptions, persons like Srila Prabhupada have appeared. The bona fide spiritual master always appears in cyclic succession from Krishna. So there are four sampradayas, four cyclic successions. One starts from Lord Brahma, which is our sampradaya. One starts from Lord Shiva, which is the Rudra sampradaya. One starts from Mother Lakshmi Devi, that is the Sri sampradaya. And the other one starts from the four Kumaras, who are the sons, the brahmachari, eternally 5-year-old looking boys, great saints, of Lord Brahma named as the four Kumaras. So these are four sampradayas, and each of these sampradayas had many branches, and many different offshoots and so on, and many of them are bona fide, and some of them may have kind of shriveled up just like a regular tree and stop giving the fruit of the love of Godhead, but there are many sampradayas. So whenever we see someone calling themselves a guru or someone else calling someone a guru, we should first of all test if this person is coming in disciplic succession from these four sampradayas, or they are saying something that is consistent with at least one of those sampradayas. If that is not the case, then we should not walk away from them, we should run. Because that's not guru, that is definitely not guru. That is not even lagu. And that person is going to lead us in the opposite direction. Right? Lagu means light, guru means heavy. Now, Lord Balaram is regarded as the giver of spiritual strength. So that is the real meaning. Na atma balahine labhyate actually means without the mercy of Lord Balaram, nobody can achieve any kind of spiritual success. It's not possible. Now what is that spiritual strength? Where does it come from? Right? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna uses the word Hridaya Daurbalyam. In the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Krishna quotes the verse Klaibyammasmakam Partha is the verse that is quoted. In that there is a word called Hridaya Daurbalyam. Daurbalyam means weakness. Hridaya means heart. Hridaya Daurbalyam means weakness of heart. That which prevents us from pursuing spiritual life in a complete way is called as Hridaya Daurbalyam. And that is what Lord Balaram gives us the ability to overcome that. Now just this morning, when Vaisheshika Prabhu, one of the disciples of Srila Prabhu, it was a very ecstatic festival for the last few days here at Iskcon Toronto and all over the GTA actually, and many devotees are still floating in that ecstasy. Some of them are physically exhausted, but he said this in the morning. He says, okay, so it's you come here, Lord Balaram is here on the altar. Actually, he's there. So this temple, by the way, we are walking on this temple, but this temple is an incarnation of Lord Balaram because he's serving, housing Krishna in this way. So on our altar, we have Balaram on this altar, or the rightmost altar, when you're facing this way. This altar, the white personality is Lord Balaram. And on that altar, Lord Balaram appears as Nityananda Prabhu. On this altar, Lord Balaram appears as all of Krishna's paraphernalia. His shoes, his flute, all of these different paraphernalia. Right here, Lord Balaram appears as the Mridanga. He appears as the Karatals. He appears as our spiritual masters. Right? So Lord Balaram is, wherever you see, it's hard to miss him actually. Unless we have Hridaya Daurbalyam. Then we can't see Balaram anywhere. But it's not just enough to say, my dear Balaram, you are the giver of spiritual strength. Please bless me. It's not enough. We have to do our part to take the bala that Lord Balaram is giving freely. And sometimes people say, oh, when he wants, I will come. No, but it's not a fact. He wants everybody to be here 24/7, serving well, whether you are here or whether you are in your home. Grihe Thakur, Mane Thakur, Sada Hari, Bole Thakur. Actually, Krishna wants everybody to be serving 24/7 because that's our constitutional position. That's our natural position. If we are not in that position, we are in Hridaya Daurbalyam, weakness of heart. Okay? Krishna also says this in many different ways. He says, Balam Balavatam Chaham. So whenever we see someone who is very strong, not just physical strength wanes, people, big bodybuilders cannot even lift themselves up from their chair one day. Right? We see so many such examples. But spiritual strength does not wane. It only continues to increase. Even a person who is spiritually advanced is in a very weak body or in a diseased body. It doesn't matter. Their spiritual strength shines through. We had many spiritual masters come through here. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj came here. He was barely able to walk when he came here. The last time we saw him in Toronto. But every step he was chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Right? Every step. every step. Right? Then there was, we had just last year we had the presence of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj who had come here. Physically, you could see that this person has a very ailing body, but spiritually, you could see he's radiating spiritual energy all over the place. Right? My spiritual master was here in the Rath Yatra. He was in a wheelchair for most of the time. He's radiating spiritual energy all over. So, a spiritual energy, the person who actually has the mercy of Balaram, their strength never reduces. And they have the type of strength that will never reduce. It will only continue to increase. And even from Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi in Vrindavan, is continuing to radiate spiritual energy all over the world. Whether it is the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, whether it is the Vapu form of Sri Ramanujacharya in Sri Rangam, where he's sitting there in Samadhi, right? Personally, you can actually see him. He was not buried under the ground, he's right there in front of us. He's radiating spiritual energy. Anybody who goes there can feel it. Provided they don't have a very severe case of prepared or Balaram. Okay? So, I was listening to a class by Kadamba Khanna Swami Maharaj, where he was talking about Krishna and Balaram. He says, the Guru comes in and he plants the seed of bhakti in our heart. Brahmande Brahmite Kauno Bhagyavan Jiv, Guru Krishna Kripaya Pai Bhakti Tabij, comes and sows that seed. But everybody knows that even if there is a very fertile piece of land, first of all it has to be plowed and prepared. The soil needs to be turned, it needs to be aerated. It needs to be mixed up properly, it needs to be soft and supple. Hard soil doesn't grow many plants. Hard soil, it's hard for plants to grow in that. So you plow the soil. So what Balaram does is he plows our heart and makes it ripe and fertile and ready to receive that seed of Krishna Bhakti that the spiritual master will plant. And spiritual master is again who? Expansion of Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram is the person who actually helps us to acquire this beginning and the growth and the final stages of Krishna Bhakti. Kadamba Khanna Maharaj goes on to say that how is it that we can accept that plowing of Lord Balaram? What is it that we can do? Right? And he gives a very simple statement, and that is all of Srila Prabhupada's instructions are encompassed in that one statement, and it is to maintain a service attitude. Right? When we come anywhere, when we go anywhere, in fact we have a famous book that was just written by Vaishnavi Prabhu in the 4 questions, and one of the questions is, how may I be of service? Right? So to have that service attitude, to come to the temple or the temple in your home, or to go to a devotee's home, or to go out in the world in general, we continuously ask the question, how may I be of service here? And what is the highest service that I may perform at this given moment? So my request to everybody who is here, especially those who are new, is when you come to the temple, don't go home without doing some seva. A little bit of seva. Little bit goes a long way. Right? My Guru Maharaj said that every time you come to the temple, you should not go without putting something in place or washing a pot. If something is out of place, somebody threw a plate somewhere that they were not supposed to, pick it up, put it in the right place, for example, or go downstairs in the kitchen where an unlimited number of pots being generated, and you can say to the devotees, can I wash one pot? And they will say, yes, Guru, please come. Please wash one pot. Right? Or you can help to sweep or mop the floor. But in general, there are so many sevas that one can perform at the temple. So this is very important. Vaisheshika Prabhu said this morning, fresh, hot off the press this morning. Okay? He said that Krishna mentions a particular verse in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter, 8:10. Okay? He says, Krishna is mentioning how to lead the body, right? How to lead the body for success. He says, Prayana kale manasachalena buddhya yukto yoga balena chaiva bhruvor madhye pranamavesha samyak satam purusham upaiti divyam. So there is the word bala here. Right? You see the word? Bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva. What is that yoga balena? What is that yoga balena? Srila Prabhupada mentions, and he mentions Srila Prabhupada's purport, ever the disciple, right? So, move on to the purport. He mentions that a purity, go further. The particular use of the word yoga balena is significant in this verse because without the practice of yoga, whether Shat Chakra yoga or Bhakti yoga, one cannot come to the transcendental state of being at the time of death. In other words, if you are going to call yourself a yogi, whether it's a Bhakti yogi or a Dhyana yogi or a Karma yogi or whatever yogi you are going to call yourself, then actually practice that yoga fully. Give yourself completely to that process. Don't kind of just put your toe in the water, you just taste it a little bit here, a little bit there, chant a little bit here, go do something else. No. Go into it fully, deeply. Take Srila Prabhupada's instructions into our heart and just do it completely. Right? Don't remain a friend of Krishna from the outside. Come and become family. Right? Become family. Make it your personal responsibility when something is out of place. Right? And try to help. And try to make things better. Someone is hurt, someone is lost, someone doesn't know where the washroom is. Be that person. Tell them, here, go down here. Like a room full of 500 guys, ever waiting to serve every person who comes into the room. In fact, that service attitude is the thing that separates the material world from the spiritual world. Alaram Swami Maharaj says, in the material world, everybody is looking to get served. Yes, I am the center of attraction. Serve me. But in the spiritual world, everyone is falling over themselves to serve each other and serve Krishna and serve them in their service to Krishna. So because everybody is in that service mood, it is Vaikuntha. Because if there is a Kunta, there is a Vaishnava somewhere ready to take away that Kunta. No chance of any Kunta happening. No difficulty. Right? So as Vaishnavas, we should be like that. Like, what difficulty that this person had? What can I do? Is it within my power? If not, what can I do? Okay, I can ask for help for someone. If you imagine the power of 500 people, actually this community has more than 4,000 families connected with it. If you imagine a community like that, where everybody is trying to serve, where everybody is trying to really fall over each other, trying to get an opportunity to serve every other person in the community, then everybody will be very attracted to come in, and then you will be the person who is disseminating Lord Balaram's mercy to everybody else. You will be that person. Okay? So, don't ignore the instructions of the spiritual master. In fact, Prabhupada said that by reading these books, line by line, page after page, chapter after chapter, page by page, line by line, one will become a pure devotee. So, if you think about how a book is organized, how is a book organized? In lines. What do those lines look like? Don't they look like the marks of a plow? So, one of the primary things in the Krishna consciousness movement is to plow our hearts with the lines that are coming out of Srila Prabhupada's books. This is a practical thing that we can do, like really go into it. Okay? So, I'll just conclude by saying that we are very grateful to everybody who is here. We're very happy that you have come here on such an auspicious occasion. We are very eager and very, very happy for everybody who has come here to receive the full mercy of Lord Balaram. And one of the things that was started yesterday, it was a massive festival. One of the things that was started yesterday is that Vaisheshika Prabhu explained how Srimad Mahabhagavata conveys the full mercy of Lord Balaram, line by line, book by book, chapter by chapter, word by word. And so, our request to all of you, our call to action on this auspicious day of Blaram Jayanti, Blaram Purnima, is if you don't have a Bhagavatam for yourselves, it is the topmost treasure. If you don't have one for yourselves, then please get one. And if you already have one, Vaisheshika Prabhu said, get one for every room of your house. And if every room of your house is already full of Bhagavatam sets, then take 1, 2, 4, 15. One devotee yesterday sponsored 18 Bhagavatam sets from Calgary. He was online, he was not even in this room, and he sponsored 18 Bhagavatam sets yesterday. So, but everybody has different capacity and different means and different ability to sponsor. If you can sponsor one or even half a Bhagavatam set, we'll take it. Because these books will then go to Latin America, but the devotees there cannot really afford to buy these books personally, and you will be then, in a very tangible way, delivering the mercy of Lord Blaram. Okay, so I'm usually over time, but when you have one question, one question, one question.
A show of hands and pass the microphone. We have time for one quick question. Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the wonderful class. So you mentioned about those who are not coming in Sampradaya, and we should run away. But I'm thinking that, at least I think I got benefit from some teachers who I don't think were in Parampara before.
Yes.
So can you explain how that can be?
That benefit was only actualized after you got in touch with someone in Parampara. So yes, there is value in all kinds of different teachers who are not necessarily teaching a spiritual truth. For example, someone who taught us arithmetic, or someone who taught us English, or any other language, someone who taught us anything else. There is value in all of those instructions. But when that instruction was not used in the service of Krishna, it only became a means for acquiring more karmic reactions. So for example, let's say someone teaches me to cook, right? When I was a kid, there was a television program, and there was the byline of that program was, if Yan can cook, so can you. Right? He was a Asian person who was, speaking in his Asian accent. Yan can cook, so can you. But what he was cooking was sending everybody into millions of births of different species, right? So while there is value in the techniques of cooking, the actual value is actualized when we came in touch with cooking for Krishna, for example. We can use that same analogy anywhere, English. Like we used it in all kinds of different ways, but it became successful when it came in touch with Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada says that the highest utility of anything, whether it's an object, or whether it's a skill, or whether it's a talent, is when it is somehow or the other engaged in the service of Krishna. So yes, there's some value, but when I was mentioning run, I was really mentioning those who are pretending to be spiritual and not being in Parampara or in Sampradaya, anyone bona fide Sampradaya, and then teaching as if they knew the truth, and then leading their followers into a false sense of security. Like there's one fellow who claims to be God, one person claims to be an uneducated guru. Isn't that an oxymoron? It's foolish, right? But people follow because the person is charismatic. So that's why I was saying that, get away from people who are not in Sampradaya, especially when they're talking about spiritual topics. Does that make sense? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you once again, Mahabhagavata, for leading us into a wonderful discourse on the appearance of Sri Blaram Jayanti. Can we give a big round of applause? And thank you all for your enthusiastic participation. We usually have sponsors for on the days of festivals and Sunday feast. Today we do not have a sponsor, so if anybody is interested in contributing towards today's festivities, you are most welcome to come by the front desk and make your contributions as per your desire. We'd also like to announce about two special devotees from our community who got initiated yesterday by His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, and one of the young devotees is right here. Prabhu, can you please come up? Everyone that has seen this young devotee, he is now Manasi Ganga Prabhu, and it was initiated yesterday on Sunday by His Grace by Shika Prabhu and Mother, of course, Mother Nirpala is also present. Would like to wish Prabhuji a wonderful journey. He started on a very auspicious note of accepting a spiritual master, and on this occasion we would like to chant thrice for Prabhu and for Mataji who is not here on their ongoing spiritual progress. So on the count of 1, 2, 3, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare